Ukur Yatani, who's giving a press briefing from an inland depot right here in the country.
As I said earlier, which now gives an opportunity to container owner to come any time and process. One of the fundamentals that we have also realized that we do not actually start clearing from the ICD while here. It starts all the way from at the time the manifest is launched. The initial clearance are already undertaken. So by the time we come here, what remains only just a fraction of the process that it undergoes through. That synergy between the agencies have really improved, and we want to appeal for more cooperation. As a ministry, we're also going to add more resources for the KRA to ensure that these things are move faster. And you should also realize that we are not only servicing the local market. We are looking at the region, and this one we want to be a center of excellence, not only in Kenya but also in the region, because we serve a number of other countries, including as far as DRC, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Sudan, and the number of cargoes that go through here is monumental, and we want to increase the efficiency so that we can clear more, and so for the goods to reach the intended destination. And through this, we are also able to raise a lot of revenue for our own, managing of the government expenditure.
With this, you mentioned that also you're trying to reduce the human interaction with the cargo. Are we likely to see more people getting fired from the job?
Why should people be fired?
if you're reducing the interaction, because if you modernize the systems, then the people who maybe used to work at those points.
But instead, you actually will need more people, but highly specialized people to be operating the machine. So that we used to clear 50,000 per month. We want to triple that number. That means more scanners, more equipment, and also more personnel, because the machines have to be operated by people. But what you're saying is that, that interaction, like now opening the container, confirming what is in, is now reduced to bare minimum, because the machine can undertake the same job.
So thank you very much. We are going to 13th floor. You can ask 13th floor Times Towers. You can ask the rest of the questions there, because we are running behind schedule. So we have a vehicle for you. You can join us.
Workers Union Kuteha is this morning is having a press briefing expressing concern over the stalemate on the Division of Revenue Bill, which they say is causing untold suffering on workers around the 47 counties. Let's listen in to what exactly they are saying.
It says very clearly that the same procedure, the same band should have been used to all the workers of Kenyatta National Hospital, whether from a doctor perspective, clinic officer perspective, nurse perspective, and any other theater attendant, subordinate staff, all the workers of Kenyatta National Hospital. We are running by surprise, irrespective of refusing to negotiate collective bargaining agreement. Since 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, to date, this salary increment has not been done, except to the CEO. We now demand, and we are giving notice to management of Kenyatta National Hospital to move with speed. If the same shall not have been implemented and paid in arrears, together with the house allowance, arrears of 2016-2017, come 9th of September, all workers of Kenyatta National Hospital shall outday their tools with respect to our Constitution of Kenya, with respect to attending all patients. But that day, service shall not be provided in Kenyatta National Hospital unless our full arrears since 2013 to date, in terms of the circular, is fully implemented, is fully paid, in totality, together with our house allowance, which was recommended and passed by Salaries and Remuneration Commission. We need to be fair. We cannot do things selectively. We cannot do things with a big fish eating the big meat. We are equal to our constitution. We need fair labor practice. We sympathize, we shall be sympathizing with our workers, and we shall continue to be standing firm, and we are asking His Excellency, we shall abide the Constitution, but let him also make sure fair play is done. Thank you very much.
Albert Njero, the Secretary General Kudeha, talking about stalled payments, especially with domestic, and because the union quite basically represents domestic, hotels, educational institutions, and a hospital workers association. In this case, they're making reference to their workers who work at the Kenyatta National Hospital. A bargaining agreement that was agreed upon in the year 2016 has not been implemented this far, and they are saying come the 9th of September, if the same is not honored, even in arrears, they will down their tools. And of course, earlier on, they were talking about the stalemate with the Division of Revenue Bill, where they actually talked about some of the concerns they have with their workers who are working across the 47 counties in this country. Now, also happening today is a conversation around the Division of Revenue Bill, and of course the mediation talks have stalled, and they have been postponed to Wednesday next week, and we shall keep tabs with that particular story. I still have Dan Mihadi with me right here in studio. We are looking at various issues that are currently affecting the nation. And I don't know, Dan, from your point of view, when you look at the stalemate that is there with the Division of Revenue Bill, what exactly could be the real issue on the ground? Is it procedure or is it politics?
It's procedure, but it's also coupled with the politics inside. Because if really counties are stuck, if I was a governor, I'll say, bring what you have given me first. You take what you have been given, and then you demand for what is the balance, the remaining. But when you are saying you have to bring first, you have to clear it first, and then and yet workers are not being paid. Some counties are on strike. We don't know how the others are meeting their cost. The counties generally are going down, and yet you are only arguing on this is what we should have been given and not the other one.
Whose fault
the difference? This is politicians. The fault is actually in the politicians themselves, and maybe the way our constitution is crafted. Maybe if they make it more clear that this is what will happen when it comes to the division of revenue at the end of every financial year, maybe it will be better for them. So that it's clear cut. Every county will be getting this certain amount at every end of the year, so that it is not taken to the revenue whatever, and then it goes back to Parliament, and the Parliament wants to show that it is bigger than the Senate, and the Senate want to show that there's also this they're also in Parliament. No, the Constitution must be clear on this. Yeah.
When we promulgated the 2010 Constitution, it was envisioned that at some point counties will be self-reliant, that counties would be, in a position to run their own operations. How come from 2013, this is 2019, we don't even have clear signs on the ground that this is to be achieved anytime soon?
Yeah, it's because we did not elect managers. We elected politicians. Theirs is, they spend money when they are doing their campaigns, and when they get into the office, they want to get what they spent back. They're on the looting spree. But if we had good managers in these counties elected to run the counties, things will be moving. There are some counties which you can see, you agree with me that some counties have done very well. Others, some areas they have done well. Some other areas they have done, some counties have built even hospitals which are, cancer response. They can treat some, they can screen and treat cancer. But some other counties, there is nothing. There's no even place of hospital, So we don't have managers in these counties, really.
No managers managing the counties. We only have politicians, and therefore we've become victims of circumstances at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So let's cross over to the court, where the Mythical Inturi case versus Marian Keitani has entered its day 2 this morning. So let's listen in to the proceedings as they are in the courts this far.
Divorce. There was no such document that was ever presented to me or my relatives. So why it's produced now, I do not know.
Secondly, you have been given a certified copy of
a marriage. The marriage is solemnized at Tigania Catholic Parish,
yes,
in Meru,
yes,
sub-county, Eastern County, in the Republic of Kenya.
yes.
The date of marriage as per this is 8th of April 2000. It doesn't have an entry number. The husband's name is Franklin Mithika. The age is 31. Marital status bachelor. Residence at the time of marriage is Giaki. County not indicated, sub-county not indicated. Occupation insurance officer. Husband's father's name Peter Lituri, occupation farmer. Residence not indicated. Husband's mother's name is not indicated, occupation not indicated, residence not indicated. Wife's name Mercy Kaimini, age 24, marital status spinster. Residence at the time of marriage Mutunduru, sorry. Then occupation teacher.
In summary, who are you the author of that document?
No, I am not.
Is Franklin Mithika the author of that document?
I wouldn't know who the author of the document is. It's written certified copy of marriage from the Marriage Act 2014, I believe. I wouldn't remember.
It has been presented to you by who?
It was presented to me in court documents by me, Franklin Mithika.
And what is your comment about the very many information missing in that document?
For me, it's an interesting document because it doesn't have a lot of information. His residence at the time of marriage, Yaki, I am not aware that they ever lived there.
He is introduced as doing what profession there?
Insurance officer.
To the best of your knowledge, the then boyfriend who became your husband, has he ever worked for government as a government officer, insurance officer?
None that I'm aware.
My lord, the document doesn't say the second respondent worked for government as an insurance officer. By our own testimony, this witness only made the second respondent in 2013. There's a document relating to a marriage celebrated 13 years earlier, when I suppose, at the risk of speculating, the parties didn't even know of the existence of each other. So that line of questioning will object.
Thank you. Do you have an objection for the author of this document, the government officer from the marriage, to be summoned to come so that we cross-examine him?
I have no objection.
Thank you very much. We'll be putting that application to call the registrar of our marriages. The defendant has also given you another document. What is the document?
The document is Republic of Kenya Department of the Registrar General Marriage Certificate Form.
To shorten time, do you have an objection for us calling the author of this document to explain the inconsistencies?
I have no objection.
we shall be making that.
Once we can confirm to council so that we move quickly. This document is usually issued by the parish and we have a witness. We can confirm Father Jason Bishane will be coming to testify from Tigania Parish. So we can move faster.
Then we will make an application at the appropriate time who we want to come from the parish or from the Catholic Church. Now, let us now move to other documents. There are birth certificates that have been tagged here. We'll be taking, Your Honor, the same approach to call the registrar of births, so that is purely administrative. Let us now move to the 14th of the Valentine Day.
14th of February.
14th of February 2016. Yes. What happened on the 14th of February 2016?
So on the 14th of February 2016, we were in Meru, and Rithika Luturi took me together with his friends and their families to a hotel called Epsas Hotel in the park, in the national park. So we had lunch there, and that is where this idea of going to Nandi was rooted. So during the lunch, it's actually one of his friends called Kamui, or Silas Gilindi, who introduced this idea of going to Nandi. And I was very happy because for once we were now going to formalize this union we had, putting in mind that we had already committed ourselves financially and emotionally into this relationship by that time. And since we were preparing to start doing constructions for our houses, it was a good idea. So while we were doing that discussion, I remember also telling him that when we will be doing our house in Maua, I would also like to do his parents' house, which he did not object but wanted us to discuss with the parents. So we came back from the lunch, late in the evening, because we had to leave the park. We did not sleep there. We had to leave the park before 6. We were back in the house, and the following day, we passed by his parents' home, met both parents in the morning, because we were on our way back to Nairobi. And he did mention actually to the parents that we were intending to renovate their residence as we do ours, and the parents were very excited. So they asked us for when this was likely to happen so that they can make arrangements. We even walked around the compound to identify where the house would be placed, and we told them it would happen around May. So we were going to look at the design, we were going to get architectural designs. The parents were comfortable with us doing the designs ourselves, but I felt it was nice to share with them how the house would look like. And every time we started, when we drew the architectural designs, we showed it to them. I don't know whether they understand at that time, but whatever it is they say, just do it. We are okay, we are happy with everything you're doing for us.
So, you and Rithika Luturi agreed to do a home for your father-in-law, prospective father-in-law and mother.
Yes.
Did you ever do that home?
Yes, we did.
Where is the home of your father-in-law?
It's a place called Riaki.
Riaki?
Yeah, in Meru, Maua.
In Meru, Maua. Do you know the location?
That case is currently ongoing, and quite some weight of information being shared there by Miriam Keitani, but leaving that court case alone, let's come back right here in studio and conclude our conversation for the first hour. Dan, moving forward from a transport point of view, of course you raised your concerns earlier about what extent the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics has reached out to you in as far as the upcoming 2019 census is concerned. From a planning point of view, because the numbers will be very relevant, what would be your course of action should the government get the numbers wrong, now that long distances have not been factored in?
Yeah, these numbers are important for really, take for example our roads currently. They are narrow. They don't even have parking lots for the trucks. Those who are working in those trucks, they don't even have where to rest. If somebody wants to go for a call, he has to stop the truck somewhere in a bush. So if these numbers are wrong, the planning factor of it will be wrong, and they will get resistance from ourselves, because we want them to plan our roads properly. We want to give them to give consideration to those who are working those trucks, to give them services along the road which are good. Even we want stopovers where they can have a clinic. Supposing a trucker is sick, a clinic where they can be attended to, and they have good rest.
Have you reached out to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics?
These things we have been talking forever, but the government, our government is the way it plans. They have their own technocrats. They sit in a boardroom, they arrange, and they conclude, and they just push it to the public. This is what happens.
Right.
Yes.
Dan Mihandi from the Transport Workers Union. Thank you so much for coming in for the show. We are concluding the first hour of the Daily Brief, but we return in just a moment with much more.